Welcome back to episode 4 of our Perth LinkedIn Success Series. Always joining me, Bruno and Janine. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I feel like I'm in royalty, and I'll tell you why. Congratulations to Janine, won the Mortgage and Finance Association of Australia Young Professional of the Year a couple of weeks back.
Yeah, for the state, for WA.
Ooh.
Finals coming in July, which would be fantastic. Really unexpected, so that was great.
Great. Amazing. Congratulations. And Bruno, mate, you're getting stopped in the streets because of what we're doing throughout Perth now, I understand.
I think I'm your shadow, so people started recognizing your shadow, mate.
Mate, it's got to be a pretty tall shadow. But so today we've got a fantastic guest joining us, so let's get her straight on the show. Let's welcome Sandra Tricoli. Hey Sandra, how you going?
Hello, I'm very well. How are you?
Thank you so much. Good.
Great.
Hi everyone.
Hello.
How you doing, Sandra?
I'm good.
Great to have you on board.
Thank you so much.
Welcome,
Thank you
Sandra.
guys. I feel really privileged to be a part of this group. So thank you so much for inviting me along. And just, I guess for giving me the opportunity to share a little bit about my LinkedIn journey and how I've come about, doing what I'm doing today. So, thank you guys all so much.
You're welcome.
Yes, you've been doing a lot of great stuff on LinkedIn, and
I try.
Getting
I try.
Gazillions views and stuff like that.
Yeah,
So.
I think it's a trial and error thing as well. I think it's so important to be aware that it's okay. Like, not all my posts have had amazing interaction, and not all my posts have had, thousands and thousands of views and all the rest. Some of them obviously do, but I think it's so important for people to know that it's okay if you don't get, 20, 30,000 views on your first video or your first post, because it's one of those things you've got to try out a few different things. I call it A/B testing. I enjoy the platform. I think I learn a lot on the platform as well. I feel like I can add a lot of value to clients on the platform. I think that's why it's had a good response.
So with your engagement on LinkedIn, your ideal clients, who are they basically? Are they small businesses, medium or large organizations?
I work with So my target market is CEOs, directors, general managers, because they're the decision makers. Identifying your client avatar and also knowing what your unique selling proposition is. In terms of what element of my business I really want to get across. I mean, I do copywriting. Journalism's my background, and I'm passionate about writing, so that's where the copywriting comes in. Public relations, it's helping businesses make the most of their brand, of their existence, and how can they get the most out of that. And then the LinkedIn coaching, which I've done only for about 6 months now. The reason that I started is it was for myself. Like, I started I was using Facebook and Instagram, which still have a place, but I was like, I'm going to try really delve into LinkedIn. I had about 600 connections last year this time, and now I've got over 4,000. So it's, and it's basically the strategy has been, I've been posting daily, I'm interacting with people. So, I think if I can add value to other people in either the copywriting or the LinkedIn training or the PR, that's really kind of what I share.
So because you've got that mixed bag of I suppose, with your value proposition, so because you're a copywriter, then the PR and what else?
The PR and the LinkedIn training.
So the training comes through the government sector, is that right?
Well, some of it does, but that contract's finished with Business Station, so that's finished, the government one. Now I'm doing my own, so I've had quite like a few big companies hire me just to go and do training for them.
As part of your target, because part of your marketing, I suppose, are you going direct to your target market? So with the CEOs, GMs, and when you're doing your post, are you making sure that it comes across so it's straightforward?
Absolutely, absolutely. So I think, because I've identified who they are, I try to create my post to be as targeted towards them. So you do speak a certain language, you do post certain content. There is a certain level of sophistication I think that LinkedIn has that some of the other platforms don't. So I think, being aware of that and creating content that is, to target the right people is what I've been doing.
So that's why it's kind of unique in that way, isn't it? Because it's professional to professional.
Correct.
And you can kind of cut out the middleman as such, because you don't have to meet somebody to get up to speak to the CEO and the managing director, because usually there's you've got to go through the hierarchy.
There's a gatekeeper, and marketing managers tend to be the gatekeeper for a lot of businesses. Whereas, like you said, this gives you the stream to get right to the person that makes the decision. So,
Sandra, we're sitting with a world-class photographer, award-winning finance broker, and me, right?
Yeah.
And we all have different strategies for using LinkedIn.
Yeah.
Whether you're self-employed or working for a company as I do.
Mm-hmm.
What's your particular or personal view on why you use LinkedIn? Why do you spend so much time investing into it?
Okay, for me, it's important to be able to add value. So I think people think I spend a lot more time than I do. I probably spend maybe 20 minutes a day on LinkedIn. And I think it's quality over quantity. For me, every minute taken away doing something that isn't relevant to my business is a minute taken away from me working on my business. So, it's important for me. I don't waste time looking at who my competitors are. I don't waste time, doing things like that. For me, it's important that I add value. I think that's been one of my strongest points on LinkedIn. And I think just in general, I'm so focused on how can I help a client? Like, to me, value should be the currency, not money. Okay, yes. If you can get value and people are happy to go with you to use your services when they can see that you actually genuinely want to help them. And I think that's my biggest piece of advice for anyone that's even watching today. It's not about selling your business. It's not about, people will come to you regardless. It's about how can I help you, right? 99% of the content that I share is tips, tricks, value, educational, and anything in that kind of sector.
So it's about rapport building over that time so you first come on LinkedIn, and then over a progressive amount of months, people are watching that consistency.
Correct.
This consistency builds the trust, and then all of a sudden, like, I know what she's about, I know what she wants or what she can deliver, and you've got that trust already, and then you've got like a warm introduction. You meet them finally when you want to be a client,
and statistically, they say someone needs to see you 10 times, whether it's a brand or a person, in order for them to take action. You've got to really add value to it, like anything really in life.
I do like the fact, though, that you've minimised it to 20 minutes a day.
Yeah.
For us LinkedIn junkies, it's a little bit longer.
It's hard.
It's hard.
It's hard. But for me, I know I kind of have a plan for myself. Okay, this is the kind of topics that I want to, talk about. Like, for example, next week I'm off to Cairns to see Tony Robbins again. And I want to do a post about this, right? Yes. So I've written it in my notes, and I know that I don't want to be, and it's so hard to not be addicted to social media and LinkedIn because you want to be on there interacting, but I've kind of limited myself to 20 minutes, maximum 30 minutes a day. It still gives me the other, 7.5, 8 hours of the day to be plan else.
So
but I think
it's your preparation,
correct, and I think that's important.
One more question here, Sandra. With your PR parts of the business, what do you usually do? For companies, let's say if I was to come to you for some PR counseling or advice, what would you propose for me?
Sure. So with PR, a lot of businesses are focused on how do I get out into the media? How do the media talk about me? How do I get a story? I speak to a lot of businesses, and it's important for me I think one of the things that I really is my USP for my business. I'm very honest with my clients. You get people that go, I want a story, I want to be in this magazine or this publication. If I don't really particularly see a story, I'll be honest. And vice versa. If people go, I don't think I've got a story, I go, no, but you actually do. There's a really fantastic angle to what you're doing. I can offer those services where I can get them in front of the media, I can get them on TV, I can get them in the newspapers, I can get them in front of, thousands and thousands of people. So that's kind of that side of PR. The other side of PR, which I think a lot of people forget about, is the retention of your existing clients. How can we look after our PR? Do you send your clients cupcakes at Christmas? So that's the two elements of PR. One is going to the media and showcasing what you're doing, whether you've got an event that you want to be publicised, or the other side of it is what are you doing to retain your current clients?
Sandra, that's probably a perfect note for us to wrap up today. So on behalf of all three of us, thank you very much for coming in and spending some time with us. Thank you for giving us a small insight into your business and your human approach that you use LinkedIn for. And to everybody watching, again, Janine, Bruno and I are continuously working through all the interest that you're sending us around the Perth LinkedIn Success Series. So thank you very much. Keep them coming in. And until we come through episode 5, stay strong, Perth.
Cheers.
Bye. Bye.